Welcome back to Superbly Said, Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
All the material we're discussing today, by the way, comes from a SpeakDuo lesson.
That's right. And you can go to SpeakDuo.com to meet new people from around the world.
For video calls, yeah.
To practice your English and really build up that speaking confidence.
And just to be clear, this is for advanced learners. We're not just defining words today. We're really digging into the nuance, how to sound less like a textbook.
Exactly. Okay, let's get straight into it with our first one, which is to pull something off.
Right. The source material brings up a neon green suit.
Which is a risky move.
The definition is succeeding in something difficult or wearing a style that's really hard to look good in.
But why pull it off? Why not just say he looked good? Because looking good is just a neutral statement. Pulling it off implies that everyone expected you to fail.
Ah, okay.
If you wear a navy blue suit to an interview, you look fine. No one says you pulled it off because it's safe.
But a neon green suit. The odds are stacked against you.
Exactly. It suggests you defied those odds. There was skepticism.
So let's take that into the workplace. This seems like a really specific kind of compliment.
It is. Think about a sales pitch. There's this one client who notoriously hates salespeople, rejects everything. Your colleague goes in, and an hour later, they walk out with the contract.
Everyone else failed, but she pulled it off.
Precisely. Or a project manager who delivers a huge project 3 weeks early when everyone said it was impossible. It's competence mixed with a little bit of magic.
Right. We thought it was impossible, but they pulled it off. It creates a story.
Okay, so sometimes you don't actually do the impossible thing. You just think about it for a second. That brings us to our next one, to cross one's mind.
The source mentions moving to another country, or, and I totally get this one, the sudden urge to stand up and sing during a really boring meeting.
We've all been there. But we need to separate this from considering something.
Considering is active, right? If I'm considering a move to Spain, I'm looking at apartments, I'm checking visa rules. It's work.
Yes. Cross my mind is completely passive. It's involuntary. The thought it appears, and then it's gone.
It's like the difference between a dinner guest you invited and a bird that just flies in through an open window and then flies out again.
That's a great way to put it. And this distinction is really useful for something like an IELTS exam, in the speaking part.
Oh, for sure. If the examiner asks, have you ever thought about changing careers? Just saying no is a dead end.
Right. But saying, well, it crossed my mind once when I was frustrated with my boss, but I never seriously considered it. That shows a much higher command of the language.
It adds that texture. Now, when a crazy thought like singing in a meeting crosses your mind, you usually have to stop yourself.
Which leads us perfectly to holding your tongue.
Ah, yes.
This means staying silent to avoid getting in trouble or being rude, even when you are dying to say something.
And the dying to say something part is the key, isn't it?
It is the absolute core of it. You're not just ignoring someone. Holding your tongue implies an actual physical struggle. You are actively restraining yourself.
So, if you're in a meeting and a manager explains something completely wrong, but correcting them in front of the CEO would just humiliate them.
You hold your tongue. It's painful, it's frustrating, but it's the right move for diplomacy.
Whereas if you just don't care about the mistake, you're not holding your tongue, you're just indifferent.
Exactly. This is all about active suppression.
Okay. But sometimes suppressing isn't enough. You need a complete reset. And that's where turning a new leaf comes in.
This is when you start behaving in a much better way, a whole new chapter in life. The source gives that classic example of someone getting out of jail and becoming a pillar of the community.
And the metaphor is from a book, right? Turning the page to a fresh, clean one?
A blank slate. And that's why it's so different from just improving. Improvement is gradual. You can get 1% better every day.
But turning a new leaf feels binary. You were one person, and now suddenly you're another.
It is. It implies a clean break. You wouldn't use it for small things. You wouldn't say, I started flossing. I've really turned a new leaf.
Unless not flossing was like a major character flaw.
Even then, it's a stretch. Think about a coworker who was always late, always gossiping, just toxic. Then they come in on Monday completely transformed, punctual, positive, helpful.
They didn't just improve. They're a new person.
They turned a new leaf.
Okay, so we've covered achievement, thought, and change. Let's talk about frustration. Next up is a needle in a haystack.
Something that's almost impossible to find because it's lost among so many other things. The example was a contact lens on a sandy beach.
I feel like people overuse this one for anything that's just hard to find.
They do. But the real nuance here is about the ratio. The item you're looking for is tiny, and the environment it's in is massive and chaotic.
So finding my keys in my own pocket isn't a needle in a haystack.
No. But if you're a coder trying to find one missing semicolon in thousands of lines of code,
Oh yeah, that's a haystack.
or an accountant looking for one specific receipt in a giant box of unorganized expenses.
It gives you that feeling of where do I even begin? The search area itself is the problem.
Speaking of problems, let's talk about being driven up the wall.
To be annoyed or irritated to an extreme degree.
Like your neighbor playing the drums at 2 in the morning?
This one is so visceral. It's not just, I'm a bit annoyed, it's, I feel a physical need to escape.
The image is literally climbing the walls to get away from it.
And it's usually something repetitive, isn't it?
Almost always. It's the repetition that gets you. The person chewing with their mouth open, the pen clicking over and over.
Stop.
It drives you up the wall.
It really does. It's the buildup of tiny irritations until you just snap. You can't tell your boss they're bothering you, but you can tell a coworker the way he breathes into the mic is driving me up the wall.
It's high intensity. You save it from major annoyances.
So when you're being driven up the wall, what are you supposed to do?
Well, you're supposed to keep your chin up.
Ha, easy for you to say.
It means staying cheerful and hopeful even when things are tough.
This has a very stiff upper lip feel to it.
It does. But think about the physical action. When you feel defeated, your head hangs down, your shoulders slump.
So chin up isn't just be happy, it's a literal instruction for your body.
It's about showing dignity, projecting resilience even if you feel awful inside.
That's a great distinction from don't give up. That's about action. Keep trying. Keep your chin up is about your attitude and your appearance.
Exactly. Your team loses a big client. Everyone's devastated. As the leader, you say, listen, we did good work. Keep your chins up. We'll get the next one. It's about morale.
Okay, so from internal morale, let's go to social situations. To break the ice.
Super important for any kind of networking.
It's saying or doing something to make people feel more relaxed when they first meet.
And the nuance here is that you are acknowledging that there's tension.
Yes, the ice, the room is frozen, it's stiff and awkward, and someone needs to shatter that surface.
And it's a risk. That first person to tell a joke or ask a personal question, they're breaking the ice.
The source suggests those hypothetical questions like, if you could only eat one food forever, what would it be?
Which works. In business, it's that small talk before the meeting officially starts. It feels pointless, but it serves a crucial function. It breaks the ice.
It paves the way for the real conversation. And hopefully, in that conversation, you will see eye to eye.
Our final phrase. It means to agree completely with someone.
So how is this different from just agreeing?
I can agree to your terms because I have no choice. I can agree that the sky is blue. It can be superficial.
Seeing eye to eye feels deeper.
It is. It's about sharing a perspective, a worldview. We're looking at the issue from the same angle.
That's why it's so often used in the negative, isn't it? Especially for big things like relationships or business strategy. We love each other, but we just don't see eye to eye on politics.
Right. You're not disagreeing on a fact. You're disagreeing on a core philosophy.
Or business partners who agree on the goal, profit, but don't see eye to eye on the method. One wants to focus on marketing, the other on product.
It's a fundamental lack of alignment.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a lot, from neon suits to clicking pens.
Which means it's time to put it all to the test.
Quiz time!
Okay, I'm going to give you 8 questions. I'll describe a scenario, and you'll get 3 options, A, B, or C. Your job is to pick the one that best captures the nuance we've been talking about.
And we'll keep repeating the phrase to help it stick.
Question 1. Let's start with to pull something off. What is implied when someone manages to pull something off with fashion or a tricky task?
Is it option A? They decided to cancel the plan at the last minute due to the high risk involved?
Option B.
They physically removed a tight or uncomfortable piece of clothing with great effort.
Or option C. They successfully executed a difficult task or wore a challenging style effectively.
Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer.
The answer is C. They successfully did it. Remember, it's about succeeding when failure seemed likely. Question 2. The phrase is to cross one's mind. If a thought crosses your mind, how would you describe that mental process?
Option A. It occurs to you as a brief, fleeting thought, rather than a deep contemplation.
Option B. It confuses you by presenting a direct contradiction to your current beliefs.
Or option C. It becomes a permanent obsession that you cannot stop thinking about for days.
Pause here if you need a moment.
It's A. Brief and fleeting. It's that bird flying through the open window.
Question 3. We're talking about holding one's tongue. In a tense social situation, what does it mean to hold one's tongue?
Is it A. To speak indistinctly or quietly because one is unsure of the correct answer?
B. To remain silent and refrain from speaking to avoid causing offense or trouble. Take a second if you need it.
The answer is B. You stay silent to avoid a problem even though you desperately want to speak.
Question 4. The phrase is to turn a new leaf. What is the main intention of someone who decides to turn a new leaf?
Option A. To change their behavior significantly and begin a fresh, positive chapter in life.
Option B. To hide evidence of past mistakes so that no one discovers their previous errors.
Or option C. To start a new hobby that involves nature, gardening, or outdoor activities.
Pause here.
It's got to be A. A major, significant change in behavior, starting fresh.
Question 5. Looking for a needle in a haystack. Which of these scenarios best fits that idiom?
Option A. Attempting to solve a complex mathematical problem without a calculator.
Option B. Trying to clean up a very messy room that hasn't been organized in years.
Or option C. Searching for a small, specific item that is hidden among a massive pile of other things.
Feel free to pause.
The answer is C. Remember the ratio, the tiny item lost in a massive, chaotic environment.
Question 6. If a repetitive noise is driving you up the wall, how are you feeling?
A. You are feeling a sudden burst of energy and motivation to exercise.
B. You are experiencing extreme annoyance, irritation, or frustration.
Or C. You are feeling curious and want to investigate the source of the sound.
Pause if you need to think.
It is absolutely B. Extreme annoyance. That feeling of wanting to escape.
Question 7. When you advise a friend to keep their chin up after a setback, what are you suggesting?
Is it A. To maintain good posture and look physically confident to impress others?
B. To remain cheerful, optimistic, and hopeful despite the difficult circumstances.
Or C. To refuse to admit defeat and argue with anyone who says they failed?
Take a moment.
The answer is B. It's about maintaining hope and dignity in the face of failure.
And our last one, question 8. When two people see eye to eye, what is their relationship dynamic?
A. They have a mutual understanding and are in full agreement on a topic.
B. They are staring at each other intensely to gauge who will blink first.
Or C. They have agreed to compromise despite having completely opposite views.
Last chance to pause.
The answer is A. A mutual understanding. You share the same fundamental perspective.
And if you got all 8 correct, then you and us are definitely seeing eye to eye on this.
The real goal now is to actually use these. The next time you feel that intense irritation, don't just say, "I'm annoyed." Try saying, "This is driving me up the wall." It makes your English so much more vivid.
Or if a random idea pops into your head, it just crossed my mind. Using these nuances is really what separates good English from great, natural-sounding English.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Superbly Said. Try to use at least one of these phrases today. Go out there, break the ice, and we'll catch you on the next one.